It's Friday. That means it's time to get up, time to start helping people. Hey, everybody, my name is Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PAC channels. Red Friday is here. Please remember, wear your red, support, remember everyone deployed. We've got a little bit of a different show today. What we're going to do is we're going to play an interview I just did a little bit ago with one of our great brand new mission partners, and you'll be able to see right here. They are the Thunder Dancers Foundation group. It's an inspirational group that they try to help homeless kids and families. That's the one thing that I found out about this organization that I really found interesting, is that they don't just work with kids, but they also work with the families. They work with them in Africa because, look, times are tough here in America. I understand that. And I know a lot of people, look, I'm not gonna get into this. I know a lot of people sit here and say, well, what about our kids, here in America? You're right. But guess what? That doesn't mean we cannot be nice to kids in other places. Okay? Flat out. We got a lot of kids with a lot of problems, and I think that we need to be stewards for all of them. People in need are people in need. I don't care if they're here. I don't care if they're in Russia and China. They're still people. They're still human beings. Okay? It's not always their fault. So, and we are as Community Pay It Forward, we are very, very, myself and all of our partners, we're very proud to help anyone who's trying to make a change in the life of anyone, because that's what this is about: positivity and picking others up. So we're going to be talking to the founder of the Thunder Dancers here real quick, Foundation, and then we're going to replay a fascinating and fantastic educational show from this last Wednesday night with Simpson, our wonderful partner, with the B3 bands. I've got mine on the way. Okay, mine are coming. With all the rehab and everything that I've got to do now with my shoulder, with my neck, with everything like that, I've got mine on my way. I'm looking forward to trying to take some really manageable workouts and turning these manageable workouts into something spectacular. So you always take that risk on, well, is this true or not? I'm going to report to you whether it's true for me or not. I know that the one reason why I am taking and really going out on a limb for this is because of one of the studies they showed with an individual who struggled to get and stand up. And believe me, you're going to hear me talk about it a lot on this show. But there was an individual who could not stand up on his own from a seated position. And unfortunately, we go through that with my mom here in Colorado right now due to brittle bone degeneration, deterioration, sorry. And so we are hoping to build up some of that muscle and make a difference for her. But the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to listen to this interview with really good friend of ours, mission partner right here, the Thunder Dancers Foundation. And you can see some of his quotes. And a lot of this is about educating people to, hey, don't give up on yourself. Live your dream. One of the things that we talked about the other day with Leslie Bradshaw is you got to cut cancers out of your life. Okay, if somebody's going to tell you that you can't do it, these are the people that you must look at and go, I can do whatever the hell I want. Okay, guess what? If it doesn't come exactly how I want it, I'll work harder. And if you let somebody talk you down, if you let somebody take in and allow you that excuse, I'm sorry, but you get what you get what you allow. Okay, so again, this is I guess I better get it started, right? Get it ready to go. But this is Albert Jerony, who is the founder of the Thunder Dancers program, the newest mission partner here in with Community Pay It Forward. You can scan this code right here, shop with any of our partners. And when you do that, attach the receipt to him, and you can really help out what he's trying to do. So, once again, my name is Zach Clayton. I am the president and founder of Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PAC channels. And I am proud to bring this wonderful interview to you with Mr. Albert Jerony. We are here with Albert Jerony of the Thunder Dancers, brand new mission partner. What does it mean to be a mission partner? It means that anytime that you make a purchase with any of our wonderful partners, our giving partners, you can support great causes like Albert's, which is the Thunder Dancers program. All you have to do is simply visit their QR code. What QR code, you ask? Well, the one that I switched and messed up, but how? Here, let's try this one. This QR code up there in the corner is their QR code. So scan that, and it'll take you straight to their. It'll take you straight to their form. You take a picture of the receipt. You upload the picture of the receipt, and Albert and the Thunder Dancers Foundation will get a portion of the sales simply by you shopping. Albert, how are you doing today, buddy? Okay, we're having quite a delay due to the distance. It seems like hopefully it'll shorten up. But Albert is in Africa, just to let everybody know. It's not like he's in Wyoming, me here in Colorado. So, and we just lost him for a second. So hopefully we can reconnect. Please do forgive him. His their internet there is not the greatest in the world. So let me go on ahead and share a couple things with you while we're waiting for Albert to rejoin us. Again, this is what the form looks like. Well, when I can find it. Here we go. This this right here is going to be what the larger version of the QR code. So all you have to do is scan this QR code here, and when you scan this QR code, it's going to take you to Community Pay It Forward verified giving partners, to where you can find any partner that will help you successfully accomplish your daily needs, and you can donate to people like Albert and the Thunder Dancers program. Albert, how you doing?
I'm doing great here.
Well, I know we're having a little bit of problem with your internet, so we're going to try to get through this as quickly as we possibly can. Albert, tell us a little bit about the Thunder Dancers Foundation, please.
Okay, so the Thunder Dancers Foundation is in Ghana, and it's a charitable organization that provides a home, education, and also a career, choreographic career dancing for the homelessness kids in Ghana. That is what we do. And currently, the foundation is having 20 homeless kids and two parents who are also homeless under the care of the foundation, where we have a place rented for them. And we also making sure that the kids are having the basic necessities in life and also going to school.
In uh, in the section on why assistance is needed, you put Thunder Dancers Foundation is a charity foundation in Africa. My mission is to raise enough funds to accommodate, educate, and provide careers for 20 hopeless and homeless kids. Some parents under the foundation, we are finding it difficult to provide the basic necessities in as much as add others who also need our help because of the hardships in Africa. I love the way that you put it straight out there. Look, this is what we need. This is what's going on. We need your help. You guys have found a place where you can do this, yet your landlord is requiring 2 years rent up front, right?
Yeah. Currently, rent is due and it will be due this August. And our landlord is demanding more of 2 years of advance. Actually, it was 1 year when he used to take, but he's thinking about renovating the surrounding because the place is a broad place where we have enough land to also train the kids. So he's thinking about renovating there and he needs enough fund to take. And he thinks that 2 years advance would be okay for him, which is currently a huge problem to us too, because currently our foundation is no more locating events that used to help us raise funds. And also our sponsorships are absolutely down recently because of the marketing system in Africa.
Um, one of the things, first off, that's just unheard of to us here in America, that somebody can just up and, I guess when the lease is over, they're allowed to do what they want to do, but asking 2 years to take and help train the youth is, it's a little shameful to me, I think. But what are some of the things that you do, Albert, to help these kids?
So what we do to help these kids is we help them by providing a food for them. So what we have right now is we have the place that we have for them, and we also train them into choreography dance. So we make sure we attend events. We look for events that would raise some funds for us in order to provide the food, because every human needs a basic necessity, food, the clothing. So we attend events, and this event is what help us. 3 years ago, when we started it, we were able to attend most events, and the kids performed well during all these events. So it's events we attend, and also we have some of the chiefs in our subordinates that are also involved in what we are doing. They used to support us a little with what we were doing when we started.
Okay, I just want to play a real quick video from your YouTube page, and then after that, I'm going to ask you about the video. Okay, so here we go. This is one of the videos. Albert does a really, really good job with videos on both TikTok and YouTube. So, but here's just a sample of what they do. So.
Let go of toxic people. Until you let go of all the toxic people in your life, you will never be able to grow your fullest potential. Be ready to let them go so you can grow.
Got to save myself. That's just very quick, very simple, very to the point. You're telling people, look, if they're dragging you down, and we heard something like this 2 weeks ago with a really dear friend of ours, Leslie Bradshaw. She's telling you, even if it's family, there's times that you can only, there's only so much you can hear. This is not what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. I don't care if this is your dream. This is what's expected of you, before you have to sit there and go, time out. This is me. This is my life. Right? We seem to be losing him a little bit again, so hopefully we can get in. We can get a link back. But can you explain a little bit more what you were talking about on that video? And we lost him again. We're working real hard with what we got here, folks. We're going to work as much as we can. I want to once again show I once again want to show and make sure that you realize that this QR code above me can help these people. I love the way that not only are they taking care of the kids, they're also taking care of mom and dad. When he's talking about the hopeless, that speaks to me, because they're talking about a situation where these families really feel like they have nothing at all. I'm going to go so far as to say they probably really do not have nothing at all. It's, shelter or food. You're not going to have both. And this is a different lifestyle than we're used to here in America. Please remember that. This isn't something that they choose to do. It is the way it is in another country. We a lot of times do forget, and especially in the climate that we're in right now, we forget that things are better here in America for us. So we want to make sure that we're not discounting what they're going through. Albert, you want to tell me a little bit about what you meant about get rid of toxic people in that video?
Yeah, so when after the issues happened, where we started facing financial issues, where we started having less funds, I just decided, okay, then I have to start selling myself out. So I started creating content, started emotional therapy content in order to raise some funds, generate some funds to get at the ends. But so the getting rid of toxic people is part of my content creating in order to start raising funds for the foundation, because we weren't raising enough funds from what we were doing the event. So I have to do something else, and that's why I started with the content creating up there.
Okay. Like I was saying before, and I know I have to repeat this, but we were losing your when we ended up losing you for a little bit. But we had somebody on the other day who was telling us that it doesn't matter who's toxic. There comes a point in time when you have to cut them out. It doesn't matter if it's family telling you that you cannot go any further. If you know you can, if you can only chase your dream if you chase your dream, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So, tell us some of the things that you are looking to do, because you're not just asking people for handouts. You're also looking to where you're asking people, hey, I've got talents. I can help you. Hire me, and we can make a difference.
Yeah, so I was able to write my first financial book, but I've not been able to publish it. So I'm also an author. Aside what I do as a philanthropist, I'm also a part-time author, an upcoming author who wrote my first financial book. It's here with me with the PDF. If any is interested in getting to know more, to getting to know more about the book, getting to help support the book, and also hire me to write, I'm a good content creator too as well. When it comes to content creating, I'm mastered in it, and I'm a good thinker. I'm an accurate thinker. So in marketing too, never joke with it. I'm very great with it, and I need a job with that one. So if any is in to help me get a job. I've also got a brother who's been helping the foundation. He's also great and 10 years experience in marketing.
What brought you to this, Albert? Was it the way that you grew up? Why are you so passionate about this?
Yeah, I'm so passionate about this because some years ago, when I lost my daddy in the 90s, in the early 20s, his relatives wanted to take us to the orphanage. So I lived a life as an orphan for some few time before my mommy came back for us. And I understand the life of living with not having it. And also recently, I've been attacked before starting the foundation. I've been attacked by the people in the society because they don't have it, because they are hungry, and hunger causes a lot. So I decided that I would start to help the kids to not turn to what their parents are, to not turn to what the society who are hungry are. So the love for kids, the love for saving them from not becoming what the society is what, and also the life of understanding you not having it is what pushed me to do this.
Well, we're going to do it again. We're going to share another one of your videos here. So please enjoy this video. This again is on his YouTube and TikTok. You can see the TikTok at BI Change Era. So here's one more of his videos.
The journey. It's the challenge. Don't tell me it is over. I just got wrong. If the journey wasn't challenging, the destination wouldn't be rewarding. It's the challenge that makes the greatness. You can have a champion athlete without great competitors pushing them all the way. You can have the greatest of all time without champions pushing them all the way. You can have Cristiano Ronaldo scoring goals without Lionel Messi winning trophies all the way. It's the journey, the process that makes the greatness. If you reach your goal, set a bigger goal. And if you get to the top of the mountain, find a bigger mountain. Because you didn't come this far to only this far.
Have you ever wanted to hide? You want to help,
It's the
but you have to
journey.
take care of your family first. Maybe this next paycheck I can support causes I love. Tell me, how does this sound? You shop, click a picture of a receipt, and pick someone you support while shopping for your family. Well, check out communitypayitforward.us. Hover your mouse here. Click on the Verified Given Partner button and shop with any partner that will satisfy your needs. Grab the receipt because every time you shop, a Community Pay It Forward mission partner receives anywhere from 80 to 90% of a referral. You can find the mission partners by going right here. Each mission has a QR code so you can upload your receipt. And that's it. Shop, click, and pick. Join the program. You shop with small businesses and support great people. Great people who need a little help, or help to support the great people doing great things. Because with Community Pay It Forward, you don't have to hide anymore. Community Pay It Forward knows every small business is essential. One thing I absolutely loved in your video is where you said you didn't go this far to get this far. Meaning you went this far because you have a dream, you have a goal, you have vision. You need to keep fighting. Albert, what is one of the things that you suggest to people to continue that fight, to not settle? What is one thing that you would suggest to people?
One thing I would suggest to people to continue is it's already in the video. You didn't come this far to this far. Whatever it is, whatever circumstances, whatever problem you are facing that makes you feel like giving up, understand and think about why you started. The reason you started is the first thing that could always and will always prompt you to why you need not to give up.
Well, that is that is so good. That's such good advice. Like I said, I think that yourself and matter of fact, I'm pretty positive that you and I'm going to send an introduction to Leslie so you can talk to her. She's a women's coach, and she can help some of the little girls that you work with. And I think that you guys can do some amazing things together, because she's from an area that little girls are treated differently than men and boys. So I'm hoping that people that you guys can work together and do some things. She's a wonderful coach, and she can help you along the way. Again, you're not just asking for handouts, you're also looking for work. Two of the things that you've got going on is content creation and marketing. Do you specialize in an area, lawyers, medical field, anything like that? Unfortunately, it looks like we might be losing him again. But is there a particular field that you specialize in with with content creation? Okay. Unfortunately, it looks like we might be losing him again. But you can get a hold of Albert by going book Bert1 at gmail.com. You can see the email right there. But make sure that you get a hold of him. Albert, you guys also have a phone number here. It's in which it is.
Sorry, can you come again?
Okay, let me try to ask this again. Your marketing and content creation, do you specialize in an area?
Yeah, so special. I'm good with inspirational speaking. I'm a good speaker when it comes to speaking.
Okay. What are some of the things that you've created for people in the past? Oh no, we have lost him again. Please forgive us for the unstable, for the instability of the internet. Unfortunately, as you can see, things are a little bit different. There is a very, very long distance phone number that you can reach out to. It's Wow, I've never even seen a phone number like this. 233 558 Don't know if you can reach out to him, but there it is. We have been talking to, okay, we're going to try to get him on here real quick one more time. We've been talking to Albert Jerony, the founder of the Thunder Dancers program, and we're asking for your help. They are a mission partner. Once again, you can help them simply by going to this QR code, and when you go to this QR code, the QR code you can see up there, and you can also see it with this form right here. And all you got to do is go to this QR code here, and it'll take you to a form where you can click this button. Find the partner that will help you with your needs. Let's say you need a mechanic. You're in Northern Colorado. You go to see Phil from Phil's Automotive. He's going to give us a community pay it forward $10. We're going to turn around and give Albert 8 of those $10 just because he is trying to do some wonderful things for some needy people. It's our feeling that there is nobody better to represent our world than people like Albert. Albert, I'm going to give you the last chance to say the last word. Do you have anything else that you would like to talk to people about?
What I would like to talk to people about is never underestimate to give. Whenever you get an opportunity to give the needy, always give. Because when you give the needy, it's a protection to you and also to your loved ones. Because the needy attacks just because they don't have. When you give them, you protect them from attacking. I always say this, that instead of getting the security to protect your house, to protect your properties, give the needy around your properties and they will protect it very well for you because they would come to your property because they don't have it. But when you give it to them, they would protect your property and understanding that you are able to give back what you have to society.
Well, thank you very much for that, and very sorry about the weak connection to you, but I think that we've done a good job with what we got. You can find Albert and his great work on at the Big Change or at the BI Change era on Facebook and on TikTok. You can also get a hold of him at BOAKYEALBERT1 at gmail.com. I want to go ahead and share one more video with you from his YouTube channel. So let me share this last one with you before we let you go.
The only thing works in life, the being blind, is having eyes but no vision. The question you need to ask yourself is, what is your vision in life?
Okay. I love that. Having eyes but no vision. What does that mean to you?
Yeah. Having eyes with no vision means a whole lot to me because that most people living in this world that they are being controlled by others. They don't have a vision. They only follow the lead. And no, that shouldn't be it. They shouldn't be following the trade. When I spoke to most graduates and I asked them, why do you go to school? They said, because most of our friends are going to school. So they ain't going to school because they want to go to school, but because they see most colleagues of them going to school, meaning they don't have a vision in life. And it looks like they're all proud blind people who end up being unemployed in the society. They have no job and they end up complaining that the government ain't doing nothing for them. So we need to set up having visions before we do something. Before starting to do something, you need to know more about it and know why you are doing this.
Well, Albert, I want to congratulate you on everything that you're doing. And once again, the Thunder Dancers Foundation is a charity foundation in Africa whose mission is to raise enough funds to accommodate, educate, and provide a career for 20 hopeless and homeless kids with their parents under the foundation. We are finding it difficult to provide the basic necessities such as food and shelter in as much as add others, which means you want to grow to that need our help because of the hardships in Africa. Once again, you can see it in the corner right above Albert. There's a little QR code right there. You scan it. Okay. All you got to do is scan it. Shop with any of the partners where it in the link. As soon as it comes on, you'll see a link. Scan that, go to it, put together your honey-do list, pick somebody out of that. Okay, shop with them. When they complete your job, upload or take a picture of the receipt, and then all you got to do is attach it to the form that pops up with the QR code. And Albert is going to get 80% of any referral that comes our way. Albert, my friend, I want to thank you very much for joining us. What a great job you're doing. Keep up the good work. Brother, keep your chin up, man. I know it's tough, but we're going to do everything we can. Folks, they need $30,000 for 2 years rent in advance. That's unbelievable that somebody would do that in our eyes, but you know, that's a different country. It's a different world. So $30,000 by August 1st, correct?
Yeah.
So let's do everything that we can do. And hey, you know what? If you can help him get that $30,000 without doing anything but the shopping that you need to do, that's awesome, right? So let's get together, let's work on this, and let's help Albert out. My name is Zach Clayton from Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PAC channel. You can get a hold of me at communitypayitforward.us, or you can go to my card, which means you can send an email to me, call me, whatever you need to do. It's for my card, Zach Clayton, or give me a call or text at 970-909-0751. Once again, you can find out more information about the Thunder Dancers Foundation at the BI Change Era on both TikTok and YouTube. So check them out, support them, see what you can do. If you have any questions, give us a call. You can get a hold of Albert at the email that you see below, BOAKYEALDERT1 Albert, again, thank you and greatest of luck, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim.
So again, I want to reiterate. Okay, first off, a lot of problems with the video due to internet issues. It is what it is. But I want to reiterate. Look, we're talking about homelessness, and I don't care what country they're in. That's not a good thing. Okay, so let's make sure that we're taking care of each other. Next up, we're going to be going back and we're going to be revisiting the show from Wednesday night, and that's Les Simpson, and they're called B3 bands, and the science behind it is just, well, the science behind it's really truly amazing. So I'm excited to bring this back because there are a lot of things that that they tell you, a lot of science in it, but this is a chance for people who are needing to strengthen muscles, but maybe have disabilities, maybe have other things that maybe don't have access to a gym. This is one way where minor workouts can make major differences. Again, we are going to be expecting ours very soon, and I'm looking forward to that. This means that I can testify to what my results are. I will tell you this right now: if I don't feel any different, I will tell you I don't feel any different. Actually, I probably won't tell you I don't feel any different. I just probably won't even talk about it. So that's kind of the way I am. I don't want to mislead anybody, but I am very excited because there's one clip in this that you guys will see what I'm talking about. Again, I talk about it over and over and over again, but it's so important because, well, you can see astonishment, you can see miraculous work done by these bands. But we will be right back in a moment, and we with Les Simpson and the B3 bands. Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday, which means packed. Podcasting for all coming together. And it is the second Wednesday of the month, which means we have our great friend Les Simpson with us, who's we're going to be bringing up here in just a couple minutes. And we want to let you know, if you guys are doing something out there, if you know somebody who's doing some great things out there, and they would like to get a little bit of recognition. I'm trying to use this thing called a mouth. I don't, sometimes it just runs so fast, I lose control of it. But this little QR code right above me, they scan that and they can join us and they can tell their story. They can tell about what they're doing, and we can get them a little bit of notoriety as well. We really want to try to support as many small nonprofits are out there. We want to help as many people as we can. That is the community pay it forward way. Just like the Bears said. Wasn't there some stupid song? Oh yeah, the Fox says or something like I don't know. So it's not metal, so I don't know the song very well. But I just want to let you guys know that we are in the very beginning of summer, as you guys can probably well tell. Unless, of course, you're here in Colorado and then you just need a scuba suit. Got quite a bit of rain. Not raining today yet, but time for that to change. And the reason I say this is, hey, let's just be careful. I know that we've got many people who are out there that are excited because the warm weather, they're out there. But remember, when you're driving down a street, be careful. There are kids out everywhere. And I watched a kid almost get hit the other day, and I just could not believe that somebody was more worried about what's on their cell phone and driving fast to impress someone than watching out for a little kid. And if accidents are only accidents if it happens, by mistake. You can't have an accident if you're on a cell phone and you cause something on, if you're distracted, that's not an accident. So, well, we're going to bring up Les now. Les is a dear friend of mine, great partner. He is a platinum partner with us, which means that he is part of everything that we do, from Footprints Forward to the Chili Cook-Off, which I know I've been promising I'm going to announce that, and I promise I'm going to. We just kind of run into a problem with the date. We usually like to have it like the first weekend of November during a Denver football game. The only problem is this November, all of Denver's road games are at night. And, we've never done it at night. I don't know if we're going to be able to. So, we're going to get that figured out. But anyway, without further ado, I want to bring on Mr. Les Simpson. Les, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, I decided to go on ahead and give myself a new look. I was tired of the old one, so I went and got myself a brand new little strap for my arm to sit in. So.
Who did you hit?
Well, not probably myself. I'll be honest with you. It's probably because, I quit drinking quite a while back, and I think I run into more doors now than I ever did when I was drinking. I still think that my equilibrium from being sober is off, and I run into more doors now than I ever did when I was drinking. So probably not a good thing, but it is what it is. So
you bet.
Les, as we can see below,
yes,
got a new website. Can you explain your new website, please?
Well, first off, to explain, for the folks that have seen me here before, I represent medical devices for practitioners. Everything from telling a person going to have a heart attack to back injury recovery to setting up the body so it's got the right magnetic signals. But the one big part that we've been missing, the missing link to all of this, has been exercise. And unfortunately, people do not exercise these days. They think driving a bike, walking in the neighborhood is going to solve the problem. But one of the things I'm going to be bringing on Dr. Mike here, and he's going to be explaining all of that is false. and it doesn't do what we want it to do. Unfortunately, we've been educated wrong. But because of the sciences of B3 Sciences, we're now going to be able to do it again in 15 minutes walking. I mean, to give you an idea, there's an exercise that Dr. Mike's going to show you that I do 4 minutes of lunges with these bands on. And I do 4 minutes of lunges, and I do 3 sets of 30 curls with these bands on. And in 2 weeks, I've lost an inch around my waist. And I've also gained an inch on my thighs and biceps. And man, that's all 12 minutes a day. And but we've got top sports professionals and so forth using this. And Dr. Mike will give you some history of it. It came from the Olympics. Actually, Japan developed it 50 years ago. And our Olympics got a hold of it in 2012 when they found out the secrets the Japanese were using. And so now many sports in the US are using Olympics, NFL, and so forth that Dr. Mike will tell you about. But with no further ado, I want to introduce 2 people. And that's Dr. Mike DeBord. And he used to own many different gyms, and he's a specialist in sports. And then Lana Stevenson, and she's a practitioner with a lot of history with this. She has a lot of clients that this has happened with. In fact, she has a phenomenal testimony herself of what's happened with a thyroid. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Mike and show us the magic. Dr. Mike.
Okay, well, thanks. It's great to be here. Enjoy always joining you and Lana. And Zach, it's great to meet you and present today.
It's great to meet you.
Les was saying, this is not a new technology, but it's new to the United States. Quick history. This was developed in Japan. We discovered it in the World Championship games in some athletes that everybody thought was doping. We come to find out they were doing this technology. We brought it here to the United States, and it was a big hit in athletes like Bodie Miller, Lindsey Vonn, Michaela Schifrin. But then we started doing it on everyday people and then injured people, seniors, veterans, people in wheelchairs, people who are injured, kids. And the results were just amazing. And it's literally a breakthrough in exercise, not a fad. This is something you're going to see everywhere, and every person is going to have access to in the next couple of years, especially veterans. It can just have tremendous benefits. I'll explain that in a presentation I'm going to bring up here on the screen. But before I do, I want to bring Lana in and see if she's got anything. I know she's got some things she'd like to share before I start.
Thanks, Dr. Mike. Yeah, so I met Dr. Mike through someone who'd done this presentation with me, and I've been a personal trainer for 35 years dealing with performance athletes, and I switched to dealing with cancer survivors and people with chronic disease like diabetes and longevity and lifestyle to prevent disease because my daughter was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer 9 years ago. And once I started using this with my clients, I changed my whole trajectory, and I became a cancer exercise specialist and a medical health exercise specialist. And I saw the most incredible changes in a diabetic client who, since she was using this daily, lost close to 100 pounds and started reversing the damage to her retina that had happened from diabetes. And I got my daughter using it, who wasn't even able to do anything. She's on a 6th round of chemotherapy, but even doing like 5 to 10 minutes a day, which is all she needs, she's living her life, you know, with so much more energy and a much better quality of life. In fact, she's just bought herself an e-bike and she's riding around. I cannot believe that this is the same time while she's going through chemo. And I myself, as an athlete, an aging athlete, I was very competitive. Now at 63, after using these bands and running half the amount of time I used to, I'm running the way I was 10 to 15 years ago. But not just that, I'm running without pain and without any injuries. So I could go on forever and ever, but I'm going to hand it back over to Dr. Mike.
Well, thanks, Lana. We're going to talk about a thing called B3 bands, or BFR, blood flow restriction. Now, the first thing you're going to think is, uh-oh, we're going to cut off blood flow. No, completely different. A blood pressure cuff is wide and rigid, right? It's a big device that goes on the arm. It's designed to cut off blood flow so you can measure pressure. Look at this. This is much narrower. It is flexible. And we have a patent. These are multiple air chambers in here. So when I blow this up on my arm, and I'll show you, it's not a tourniquet. It's going to put individual pressure points around my arm to simply do this. The exiting blood flow is just going to slow down. That's all it's going to do. Now, as you know, people undergo surgery every day. They put a tourniquet on the arm and the leg. They cut off the blood flow and they do the procedure for 45 minutes. They release the tourniquet. They wake up in the recovery room. An hour later, they go home and everybody's fine. So this process of slowing down isn't even near what they do in surgery. So it's very safe. We have 5-year-old kids doing this, 90-year-olds doing it. Let me show you how easy this is because of our technology. Okay. So I'll show you on the arm. I simply slide it up my arm. Okay, I'll just tuck my arm against my chest here. I'll just reach over, grab the Velcro, and I'll snug it down. Just snug. Now, what's snug mean? It's not tight. When I move back and forth, it just feels like a wristband. And when I slide it up and down, see that? Skin moves with it. So it's just nice and snug. Now, I take the pump. Okay, there's a number on the band right here in the corner that tells you what to pump it up to. So I simply hook it up, snap it on. Pump it up to 200, and I'm ready to go. What did I do? I simply slowed down this flow a little bit. That means this muscle, once it starts exercising, any of these muscles, even my chest, shoulder, back, biceps, triceps, forearm, it's going to have less oxygen. That gives you a mechanical advantage when there's less oxygen or the primary fuel. For example, you walk around the track, right? You're using a little bit of oxygen. What happens when you go run the stadium stairs? You're using more oxygen. You go from down here to up here, or high intensity exercise. Basically, you're using more oxygen than is available. If you stay down here, everyone, and do light exercise, you know nothing's going to change. Nobody's ever said, I went to the gym, I've been on the treadmill for 30 minutes for a month. I lost all my weight. I got my 6-pack. I'm getting endorphins. I'm getting growth hormone. Nobody ever says that because light exercise does not work because you're not using enough oxygen. So here's the challenge. And I'm going to show you in a presentation. We have to go up here. We have to do high intensity. That's hard. It's difficult, especially for veterans, especially if you're injured. That's lifting heavy weights, banging the ropes, running uphill on a treadmill. That's really hard. What if we cut the oxygen in half? Now we wouldn't have to exercise at an 11. We only have to exercise at a 6. We can go for a walk in the bands, or go up the steps, or go on the treadmill, or just sit in a chair, or just stand up and sit down. If we're injured, even with assistance, sit down, stand up, and create an oxygen mismatch like we're doing high intensity exercise. You will feel the burn and the pump like you're doing 10 times the amount of work, and you'll get the results that it'll be easy and it won't be sore. Let me bring up the presentation now.
Well, while you're bringing that up, Dr. Mike, if you don't mind, let me ask you this. I don't know if everyone's gonna feel like this, but when you talk about slowing down the oxygen, you kind of sit there, and at least I do, and I kind of sit there and go, oh, wait a minute. What about, are there any fears of maybe somebody taking and passing out because they don't have enough oxygen?
Nope, because we're only reducing oxygen in the actual muscle.
Okay.
Back at the heart, and we've got studies, back at the heart, there's no decrease in oxygen. In the brain, there's no decrease in oxygen. So this is only reducing oxygen in the local muscle that we are working, and we've got studies on that.
Sounds great.
Can you see my screen? And
we can.
Yes.
Okay. So we call it the new weight exercise. And I believe it's going to revolutionize the way we help our veterans, especially the way we help them exercise. Here's what we all need to know, and this applies to everyone. It's all great when we're teenagers and in our early 20s, right? Because we have three important substances being naturally released at high levels. Nitric oxide. A lot of you have heard, oh, take beet powder, take beet capsules to elevate nitric oxide. Well, it's not that easy, but nitric oxide is super important. Human growth hormone, everybody knows about that one. Endorphins, we all know about those. Look at that chart over there. By the time we're in our mid-20s, we're down to about half of what we had in our early teenage years. 30s, we're down to a third. So this natural release decreases with age. Add stress, decreases even more. Add injury or a physical challenge or potentially a major injury, it's going to decrease even more. So here we are in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, and we're dealing with low natural nitric oxide growth hormone and endorphins. And that's not good because nitric oxide is what maintains healthy blood flow, maintains energy, vitality, and performance, maintains oxygen and blood flow to your joints, ligaments, tendons, fuels all your organs, including your brain and heart, fights atherosclerosis, fights off virus and bacteria, and is anti-aging. Growth hormone is the most powerful substance in the world. In your human body, there is no other therapy available that can have the impact that growth hormone can have. It can reduce the manifestations by aging of up to 5 to 15 years. It can reduce wrinkles, tighten, saggy skin, decrease body fat, increase lean muscle mass, boost energy, rev up sex drive, make you look and feel decades, not years, but decades younger. And then endorphins. We have these our entire life ready to fuel and bathe our brain, but you have to do vigorous exercise. You can't just go for a walk. Nobody goes for a walk and says, ooh, I got the runner's high. I got the gym buzz, right? Nobody goes in the gym and does a light yoga class or water aerobics and gets that buzz of endorphins. But when you do vigorous exercise, these endorphins interact with the receptors in your brain and they reduce pain and trigger a positive feeling in the body similar to that of morphine, and has a huge, not small, huge impact on depression and anxiety. Now, look, we're supposed to exercise. We were developed as hunters and gatherers. Aging's the dry rot we program into ourselves by sedentary living. Exercise will be the number one factor in the quality of a veteran's life. They need to move. Not only do they need to move, they got to feel the burn. See, here's the myth, and it's a big, big problem in our society. We think movement is exercise. It is not. If you don't feel the burn, and you all know what the burn is, lactic acid. It's the difference between walking the track and running the stairs. It's the difference between going for a stroll on the treadmill in the gym and turning it up to 10 degrees incline and walking up a steep incline and feeling the burn. It's the difference between grabbing some light dumbbells and going through the motion, right? And using moderate to heavy weight and feeling the burn. You've got to feel the burn. And when you do, you elevate nitric oxide growth hormone and endorphins. If you don't feel the burn, you're not going to move the needle on these three important substances that are essential to high quality of life. I always say, no burn, no bueno. You're wasting time if you think your body's going to adapt in exercise. And then all the problems start, right? We got composition changes in our skin, body fat muscle changes, arthritis, rigidity, cardiovascular problems, blood sugar, big one, insulin resistance, hypothyroid, brain degenerative problems, bone density. Look what Harvard says, that muscle loss starts at 35 years old. We lose 1 to 2% per year. And this increases to 3% at 60. This equates to losing 4 to 6 pounds of muscle per decade. And when you lose muscle, there's a direct correlation between heart disease, diabetes, osteoporosis, arthritis, and brain degeneration are inevitable, and disabilities 4 times higher. This is why they say, seniors, veterans, you've got to keep muscle. Here's the problem. We believe, especially in our veterans and senior population, that low intensity exercise is going to solve a problem. It will not. Nobody's ever stretched their way to endorphins. Nobody's ever done calisthenics and released growth hormone. Nobody ever gets in the water and does some light exercises or walks the dog and releases nitric oxide. We think it's going to happen, but it doesn't. Now tell me, is this vigorous, going for a jog? There's no burn in going for a jog. Doing some stretching and some yoga, it's great. Don't want to pick on the yoga people. You're not going to get any endorphins or nitric oxide growth hormone. You're not going to move the needle. And doing light exercises at the gym, it's not going to move the needle. And this is what most veterans end up doing. Why? Because they're aging and they have physical challenges. I'm with you. I'll show you a slide of me in just a second. Here's why it doesn't work. Let's go back to what I explained to you in the beginning. You've got to deplete oxygen. If you can't use more oxygen than's flowing, you'll never deplete oxygen. You'll never feel the burn. This is an infrared spectrometer on middle-aged men doing strength training, and they're not getting below 30% oxygen. They cannot exercise hard enough. They can't push heavy weights. Hence, there's not going to be any adaptation. Why? Because there's not enough burn. See, this is vigorous, right? Deadlifts, squats, push-ups, bench press, curls, running the stadium stairs. You feel the burn. Look at the difference. This is an infrared spectrometer on people doing high-intensity exercise. Look at the oxygen dropping below 30%. And then you feel the burn, and then you get the nitric oxide and the endorphins and the growth hormone, the go-go juice, the rocket fuel, the anti-aging neuropeptides and hormones. And if you're a veteran out there and you've had challenges with lifting heavy weights, I'm with you. At 52 years old, I'm not a veteran, but I had already replaced 3 joints, 2 hips and a knee. I'm now almost 60 years old. I can't lift heavy weights anymore. And let me tell you something. It is depressing. It flat out stinks. I'm getting a belly. I'm losing my muscle. My joints hurt. I'm looking old. I'm not sleeping good. My mood's bad. I don't have vitality. Why? I'm operating on low nitric oxide growth hormone. I can't get that gym buzz anymore. I can't get those endorphins, right? How many veterans can maintain lifting heavy weights? Not many. How many people over 50 years old can? Very few. This is why this is such an exciting breakthrough. Let's go back to what I showed you at the beginning of this presentation. We put the bands on. It's a safe, gentle squeeze. It slows oxygen. Now, you're going to do something that you like to do. Go for a walk, lift some light weights, use some exercise tubing, do a little water aerobics, hit some golf balls, and you're going to quickly feel the burn in your muscles. And it's going to take a half the time. A lot of the time, it's 25%, meaning if you're used to going for cardio work for 20 minutes, in 4 to 5 minutes, you're going to have all the exercise you need. But you're going to be using a fraction of the weight, which means you're going to be able to do it. You might even be in a wheelchair or walker. You're going to be able to do it because it's such lightweight that anybody can be able to do this. And very quickly, you're going to create the oxygen drop. You're moving, but you've manipulated oxygen. Now you feel the burn. Here comes the nitric oxide, the growth hormone, the endorphins. And you talk about anti-aging. Here is what you will be telling us. Every one of you will say, I feel 10, 15, 20 years younger. Ask anybody who's doing the bands. Ask Lana, ask Les, ask over 30,000 people. I feel 10, 15, 20, 30 years younger. Feel like a kid again. Feel like a teenager. Yeah, you've got nitric oxide growth hormone and endorphins racing through your body like you were a teenager. And this is the exact study. This is what's going to happen when people exercise. Unless they can do super high intensity, very small release. Over here, this is the exact same men, middle-aged men, doing with bands on, BFR, light bicep curls. Easy. And they're getting a big release of nitric oxide. Most veterans have never experienced this. Let me tell you something. All I can tell you is you get this burst of nitric oxide, it's going to blow your mind. You're going to be like, whoa, man, you're going to feel like you're back in the gym, pumping iron, running a race, but you're not going to hurt. Imagine getting it every day. You're going to live a completely different life. Next, you're going to elevate growth hormone. Look at this study. Middle-aged men, 25 times increase in growth hormone. Let me put this in perspective. Most veterans probably never experience any growth hormone or only a little bit. What if you started producing growth hormone, doing light exercise like you are an Olympic athlete? Your body would change. You'd get younger. You'd feel younger. You'd sleep better. Your mood would be better. And then here comes the go-go juice, the endorphins. This is a study that was published in PubMed. BFR, blood flow resistance, causes systemic hypalgia, reduction of pain. How many veterans are in pain? Comparable to doing heavy load resistance exercise. What does that mean? Well, veterans can't do heavy load resistance exercise. Hence, they can't get endorphins and reduce pain. BFR in light weights produces the same effect. This exercise, BFR, prolonged the reduction of pain for not 1 hour, 24 hours in the exercising limb. There was a reduction in pain, plus a big activation of endogenous opioid production, endorphins, natural morphine, go-go juice, feel-good juice. Most veterans have never experienced this. Why? They can't do high-intensity exercise. What's going to happen when you start getting rocket fuel nitric oxide, better blood flow, growth hormone after exercise, and endorphins? You're going to live a different kind of life. Your outlook's going to be different. Your mental attitude, your positive outlook is going to completely change. How do I know? I've got 30,000 people of all ages, 5 years old to 90 years old. They all say the same thing. I feel better. I approach life better. I'm younger. I'm sleeping better. I'm more positive. I'm better in my relationship. I'm better at work. I'm better at sports. Yeah, the 3 most important substances in your body. How hard is it? 3 minutes. You heard Les earlier in the presentation say, I can do 3 minutes of arm work. Now, you want to do it with light weights, like these guys over on the left are, or exercise tubing. When you get the bands, we'll send you the exercise tubing. You don't need the gym. You don't need the equipment. You don't even need the weights. You just need exercise tubing, and you'll get the same benefit as those people over there lifting heavy weights. And then the leg exercises. No weights. Let me repeat this. No weights, no equipment. Hey, you can use a vibration plate like Amber's doing there, or you can just do lunges and squats. With the bands, in 3 to 4 minutes, your legs will feel like you just lifted heavy weight, but they won't hurt, and you will feel tremendous with this release of endorphins, nitric oxide, and growth hormone. Look at these seniors. Les said it. In a very short period of time, I've taken 1 inch off my waist, put 1 inch on my legs and my arms, just like Dr. Chris and John Wellman did. Now, how is that possible? Let me tell you how it's possible. You may not be getting a big natural release anymore of nitric oxide and endorphins and growth hormone, but it's still sitting in your body at 40, 60, and 90. It's still sitting there, ready for you to activate it. You never lose it until the day you die. So when you are able to hit the fatigue or the burn like Les has done and Dr. Chris and John and Lana, you're going to change like you were a 25-year-old. You're going to put on muscle. Everything is going to change. It's only necessary to hit the fatigue. And as I begin to teach people this all across the country, what you start to realize is weight, load, and time really aren't that important. All you got to do is create the burn. Look at this study. This is a muscle growth study out of Japan. Muscle size changes in 2 weeks, just like the Les experience, that typically takes 3 to 4 months of high intensity exercise, doing low intensity BFR. Strength improved in this study in these subjects, the same as lifting heavy weights. Look at this peer review in Frontiers in Physiology. Increased strength and hypertrophy in young and older populations. Greater post-exercise reduction in blood pressure. We have a lot of veterans dealing with blood pressure problems. Safe, and it regulates the fibrolytic pathway to help coronary artery disease. Remember back when I told you about nitric oxide and breaking down atherosclerosis? Here's the study. These experts concluded that this has promising benefits for starting to reduce coronary artery disease or atherosclerosis and potentially preventing people from having cardiovascular accidents. Look at this. Some of our people who have paralysis and physical challenges. This is Scooter. He had a thoracic spine injury. He lost function in his calves, couldn't balance or jump. Now, once you're injured, if you can't fatigue the muscle, get the burn, turn on growth hormone, nitric oxide, endorphin, you can't restore function. And a lot of people, they get injured and they can no longer get the burn, get the pump, build the muscle, and restore the function. Now, after being paralyzed in his calves, he can balance on one leg and jump on one leg, and his muscles have started to grow. Look at Donna, quad amputee. She was losing muscle tone, increasing problems with blood pressure and blood sugar, can't do vigorous exercise. Well, of course, she's had 4 amputees. Give her the bands and the exercise tubing. She didn't even have to go out and buy any weights. We send her the tubing. She just hooks it up to the door. She does this right in her wheelchair. Now she's building muscle and strength. And you talk about a psychological lift. This was a lady who was depressed and would tell you she didn't know what she had to live for. Now she's able to build muscle and strength and improve function. You talk about a change in an outlook in somebody's life. Don is a perfect example. Here's another person, Dusty, multiple sclerosis, frustrated and depressed. Why? Every time she does light exercise, her multiple sclerosis flares up. Now, if you learned anything earlier, hey, what if we improve nitric oxide and blood flow and endorphins? It's going to reduce pain. But here's the problem. People who are injured, people who have autoimmune, people who have physical challenges, people who might have amputations, stuck in a wheelchair, in a cane, they cannot go get the endorphins. They can't do the exercise, or the exercise is too hard and it makes the problem worse. Dusty, within 2 weeks, was exercising again without pain. Big increase in stamina, endurance, strength, tremendous psychological boost. You're talking about a mom, a wife who's able to live the kind of life she wants now. Active, not taking pain pills, able to raise her kids. Look at this guy, Parkinson's. This is Don. Parkinson's, brain degeneration. He cannot build muscle anymore. Put the bands on him. He's now building muscle and strength, tremors and function improved. You talk about a different outlook on life. Look at this guy, Homer. He was in a wheelchair. When I met Homer, I simply had him do one exercise, sit down and stand up. Now you see his wife grabbing him there. He cannot even get up, start to get up by himself. So his wife pulls him and then he pushes with his legs. After doing 3 sets of only 5, he felt the burn in his legs for the first time since he was a teenager. 2 weeks later, he's standing up on his own. There's no miracle here. This is how the human body functions. If you can create fatigue or the burn in the muscle, which is very difficult, if not impossible, for people with physical challenges. There's Homer on the right side. Look at him standing up and down there, all by himself, standing up and down. Now look on the left side here. Here's the exercise we have him do. Wheelchair, doesn't matter. Just help him stand up. Look at his wife grabbing him and pulling him up. Has not stood up by himself in over 6 years. Look at this on the right side. All by himself, standing up. Had not stood up for 5 years. Took 2 weeks. Now, how's that possible? It's not if you can't create fatigue and muscle. If you can't create fatigue and lactic acid, you're not going to see those changes.
I'll tell you this, Dr. Mike, that truly is beautiful right there. Just seeing those results in that gentleman right there. I think that, all those stories are wonderful, but watching that story right there,
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but
No.
I just, that speaks that speaks
Yes.
volumes to me. My mother has bone degeneration and stuff, and the muscles, unfortunately, have gotten quite weak. So this is something that definitely, hey, there you go.
There's the study.
I definitely want to learn a little bit more about this. So, but sorry for interrupting you. I just wanted to.
No, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did and told me the impact. Now, when you start increasing nitric oxide and endorphins, growth hormone, your cardiovascular system gets younger. Your blood sugar starts to get regulated. This is a study out of Scandinavian Journal of Medicine that BFR is beneficial for people, pre-diabetic, diabetic, who may not be able to sustain. There it is. Doesn't say can't go for a walk. Doesn't say people can't do yoga. It says people who can't do high intensity exercise. So after this presentation, don't be fooled. You are not going to move the needle with walking and light exercise. It'll be therapeutic. It'll be fun. It might be social. You're not going to move the needle on adaptation in your body. You've got to do high intensity. Here's a study on 3 weeks of walking. Females in Japan walking, 35 times increase in bone-specific alkaline phosphatase. Now, you got to be saying, come on, Dr. Mike, how's that possible? Let's go back to what I said. Adaptation from physical exercise has nothing to do with weight, load, and time. Those are tools. Your body does not go, whoa, that's a lot of weight. I'm going to strengthen your bones. Your body responds to the change in the metabolic stasis of the muscle, or more important, lactic acid drop in pH. So you can lift heavy weights, produce lactic acid and strengthen bones, or you can do BFR with lightweight, produce lactic acid and strengthen bones. It's irrelevant which one you do. You just got to produce the lactic acid. So what you're starting to see is we're able to take people who can't do the required exercise and do it. Brain health. This is a big one. When you do BFR, it increases cerebral blood flow and releases brain-derived nootropic factor. I can't tell you how many people we have who have seen improvements in cognitive function, memory, tremors, sleeping, brain function, focus. Now, we're not going to cure Parkinson's in all those conditions, but you talk about an improvement, huge improvement, and this is proven in science. There's an actual study on this. Who's using it? Rick Burkholder, Kansas City Chiefs, on his 2-time Super Bowl champions, on his world-famous quarterback, on his family. Look at these USA Olympic teams: ski and snowboard, swimming, volleyball, gymnastics. The #1 pickleball player in the world. We probably got some pickleball players that are watching this. We have a way for you to simply put the bands on in the first 5 to 10 minutes of pickleball. Don't have to change your exercise. Don't have to lift weights. Don't have to start riding a bike. Just put them on. We even have a golf program. We'll show you how to take the bands with you out to the golf course, go out to the range, and in 10 minutes, stimulate nitric oxide growth hormone and endorphins, all while playing golf. Well, soon, everybody's going to be exercising the new way with B3 bands. And with that said, I want to stop the presentation now, and we'll go back to questions. I'm going to stop the sharing and pass it back off to our awesome host so we can discuss it a little bit further. Zach, back to you.
Yeah, one of the things that I want to talk to you about, you were just showing some of the different exercises. One of the things that I love to do, one of the exercises that I, with the TBI that I suffered after my motorcycle accident, one of the things that I really enjoy doing is playing racquetball, because it helps me focus. I can watch the ball, plus it's fun, and I guess when I say racquetball, I hit the ball and try not to let it hit me in the face is what I do. I don't really play with rules, but it's a way that I feel like I can get moving and motivated. It helps wake up my brain a little bit. I fractured my ankle in 2020, and I did quite a bit of damage there. Where would I place this band to help build the strength back up in my ankle?
Upper leg, on your upper thigh, same place for everybody.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you right here how easy it is to do. So we just take the leg band here and we put it on the thigh right here. put the Velcro through, snug it down, hook up the pump, couple squeezes. There I go. I'm ready to go.
Wow.
Ready to go. I can walk, I can jog, I can do squats. Easiest thing to do for people who have physical challenges. Look at this. I'm just going to get in this squat position and hold it. I'll balance myself. In 30 seconds, I'm going to turn on the burn in my legs, just sitting in a skier position. Or I can do what Homer was doing. I can have somebody help me sit down and stand up. That's it. You get that burn going. Here comes the strength. And then from there, you can start adding more. But Les will tell you, 4 minutes. It's all you need. He does lunges, squats. You can do this on a rebounder. A vibration plate is awesome. A lot of people have vibration plates. You can get in the water with them. Our bands are the only ones that are waterproof. USA Olympic swim team use them. You can go out on the racquetball court, you know, and do some movements and some light squats and lunges, do a wall sit, and enjoy it while you're playing racquetball.
What about like it also helps the effectiveness of, let's say, a treadmill or a stationary bike, any of those? Yes.
Well, what did we just learn? Doesn't matter what the movement or exercise or tool is. If you don't feel the burn, nothing's going to change. So absolutely. It's very difficult to get on an exercise bike or a treadmill unless you are one of those models on TV. Then you can climb the hills, right? The Peloton hills, right? Yeah. You never see a 55-year-old guy like 59-year-old guy with 3 joint replacements on the Nordic Track commercial, do you? Right? It's always the chiseled people that are dripping in sweat. They can go get the burn. I can't. Now I look like I can, but I've got 3 joints replaced. If I go run sprints, do heavy weights, I'm heading for big problems. I'm going to hurt. Probably won't be able to walk. Might tear up one of my implants. So, you know, what's great for me, like many people who are injured, I feel like I'm in my 30s. I can function. I'm not going to go run the marathon, but I mean, I can go do anything I want to do. I can travel, hike, feel young, feel great, have energy, but I can do the exercise that I need to do with the bands.
So if you put the bands on, say, and get on a treadmill and just bump up the elevation, go for 2 or 3 minutes, you're going to get the burn.
You'll be done. You'll be done 3 minutes, Zach.
Wow, that's amazing. So people who have, like I was talking to my mom with her bone degeneration, helping to strengthen those muscles around is going to slow down that bone degeneration, will it not?
Yes.
Well, let's go one step further, Zach. Bones don't stay right here. They either get weaker or they get stronger. So once we get into our 40s and 50s, right? So what's required to strengthen bones? Bones do not, people think I have to mechanically load the bone. No. See, that's another myth. You have to use load to create the hormonal response. Let me tell you where this comes from. I create the burn in my muscles. I can do it with light exercise, BFR. I can do it with heavy weights. Now I get a post-exercise release of growth hormone. That goes down into the liver and stimulates bone-specific alkaline phosphatase, which turns on bone density. The body basically says, hey, Zach, I know what you're doing. You're working those fast twitch muscle fibers. You're doing vigorous exercise. I'm going to make you better. That's what the body does. I'm going to adapt you so you can do it better next time. So I'm going to strengthen your bones. I'm going to give you some growth hormone. I'm going to make your muscles and ligaments and tendons more pliable, right? If you don't, the body goes, you're not doing nothing, and it just basically just rots. So the body is an adaptative machine. You've got to stimulate it. The myth that we need to break out there is that, number one, I can just go do a walk or 30, 40 minutes exercise. Time means nothing. It's irrelevant. Les just told you, 4 minutes, he's put an inch on his arms, right? So time's not the factor. The factor is go get the burn. That's what we've got to teach people. We got to teach these veterans. We got to find a way for you to engage in fatiguing exercise that you can tolerate. And BFR is perfect. And when you get to try it, Zach, it's going to blow your mind. Lana and Les will tell you. We'll have Les come back on here. Once you use the bands, Les, tell them. I mean, you don't go back to the old way, do you?
In fact, one of the things that really surprised me is I do a gym called Gym Vertical. Only takes 25 minutes. Usually by the end of it, I'm very much breathing hard. Since I've done the bands, I can't believe how easy it is. And there's another exercise where I take and lay down with all of these bands, which is equal to a couple 100 pounds. I mean, I've got to increase it about 25% because it's so easy now. And that's one of the things that Dr. DeBord has mentioned is a lot of the athletes, when they start, they're skeptical. And so he has them do the bands one day and their regular procedure the second, and then bands. As he said, give me 30 days. Well, usually after about 2 weeks, they find out they're blowing through their regular routine, and they actually increase the bands day and reduce the routine day because the power and the growth was coming from the bands. So it's just unbelievable. And my wife has noticed that her muscles are much more operational. I mean, she said it's like they're thicker. And one of the things I told my doctor today is one of the things I've noticed is I'm standing up straighter without trying, because the muscles are becoming much more stronger in my back. And I'm not exercising my back. I'm just doing the lunges. And lunges 4 minutes. And then the curls, 3 sets of 30. And then I leave the burn on for 4 minutes. And then I take everything off.
See, and that's the whole point. So like even with running, I'll train half the time with the bands on. And then when I go out, my performance is so much better. But because I'm not pounding my body, I'm not getting injured. I have no pain. And that at 63, I'm like, it's the first time I've been able to do this in like 6 years. It's mind blowing.
That is amazing. You've used the word, and the only reason I'm asking this question is because I know that there's a lot of people who hear the word growth hormone. These are natural growth hormones. These are not anything that's outside your body that you're putting inside your body. This is all naturally produced growth hormone, correct?
Right. And I get this question all the time. Oh, I've got cancer. Oh, I've got this. There is not one study anywhere in any published medicine or journal that natural growth hormone from exercise has a negative effect on the body, unless you have hyperpituitarism. That's different. You just got way too much, and everybody knows who that is. But that's 1% of the population. So this, oh, I can't exercise, I've got cancer. Let me tell you the actual facts now. 72% reduction in the most common forms of cancer in people who do vigorous exercise. I've got the study. I'd be glad to send it to you. So you have a 72% less chance of getting the most common if you're doing vigorous, not going for a walk. That's not going to move the needle. If you're doing vigorous exercise. Outcomes, new study on people going through chemotherapy that are able to do short bouts of vigorous exercise, significant improvements in outcome. It's the opposite of this myth out there. Ooh, growth hormone, bad. No, growth hormone is the most powerful substance in the world. Lana, I know you were going to show something there.
There's this doctor, Catherine Schmitz. She's been studying cancer for 20 years and high intensity exercise. She's written a whole book through all the different stages of treatment. And there are different ways for different types of cancers and different surgeries. There are different modalities that you can and can't use. However, high intensity exercise, however you choose to do it, is absolutely safe and encouraged.
Yet, are there any drawbacks from using these bands? Have you had anybody who has struggled with the bands at all?
Well, occasionally somebody overdoes it, right? And they're sore, or they're tired, or they get a bruise. I mean, I've got 32,000 people. Nobody's ended up in the hospital. Nobody. But think about this. If you're not used to exercising and you go to the gym and you overdo it, it's going to be a rough day tomorrow.
Yep. Oh,
We
yeah.
have
Yep.
occasionally, but that's rare. Here's a big one. It's rare that you ever get sore doing this. You might get sore the first time or the second time, but Les and Lana, Les is building muscle in 4 weeks like he's powerlifting. Les, how many times have you been sore?
First couple days.
First couple days.
Yeah.
In contrary to, if he goes and lifts heavy weights today to micro tear muscle, he's going to be sore. It used to be, if I'm not sore, no pain, no gain. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's out the window. It's no pain, all gain now. It shouldn't be any pain. There shouldn't be any, except for your first time or two. I can go and do the craziest, hardest BFR workout. Now, I don't go till I pass out, but I mean, I go pretty far. And I mean, I don't even feel it the next day. Here's a big one, Zach. We're not micro tearing muscle. See, people think you got to tear it. No, sorry. That's just a side effect of using mechanical overload to create lactic acid. That's all it is. So one method, mechanically overload the muscle, micro tear it, create lactic acid, build muscle. Another method, use BFR half the weight, don't micro tear anything, create the burn, build the muscle, and you actually build it faster.
Okay. I got some beautiful friends who are expecting children. This is a wonderful, wonderful way for women who are going through pregnancy to work their bodies without.
Well, they want to talk to their doctor.
Yeah.
Right. We always tell, look, if you're going through pregnancy, go talk to your doctor. Okay. And we provide all kinds of studies to share with the doctors. But if the doctor says, I don't want you doing high intensity, vigorous exercise, you shouldn't do BFR, but they don't say that very often, right? Especially with women who have already been doing vigorous exercise. Now, if a lady gets pregnant, she's 3 months, first try, second try, we're not going to take her in the gym and put her in a 45-minute CrossFit, are we? Right?
No,
right.
no.
So we're not going to put the bands on and go get a crazy burn on her. We're going to let her get through her pregnancy, right? When she's ready to come back. I can tell you, the women postpartum do this.
Postpartum. My
fast.
daughter, postpartum, she's an aerialist. It took her like literally 2 to 3 weeks. And she was blown away. She was so skeptical. But right after the baby, she was nursing, and she bounced back super fast.
Well, Lana, you kind of opened up where I wanted to go with this next. And one of the things that we really focus on is the mental health aspect. You look good, you feel good. You got better mental health, right?
Way better. And I do have clients who literally couldn't get out of bed, hated exercise, like 5 minutes a day. And I have got them so hooked now, they feel like a different person. It's like, and they're slowly reducing their antidepressants and anxiety meds because they're able to get that the health in their brain and the blood flow, and just a whole different outlook on life. And socially also, it's helped them tremendously. You know, it's just been such an honor for me to see such a change in so many people who hated exercise and are now using it instead of taking the drugs. It's wonderful.
And Dr. Mike, how long has this been around again?
Well, it was discovered by accident in Japan in the 60s. It took Dr. Sato about 40 years to perfect it. So it really became popular in about 2005 to 10 in Japan. We found it in 2013 in the World Championship Games, and the Japanese athletes brought it over here with a group. I'm going to give all that credit to Dr. Jim Stray-Gunderson, our science advisor. He's one of the pioneers. You know, I joined him about a year after it was brought here. And then it took some years. We first thought Olympic athletes. Dr. Jim pioneered Olympic athletes, and he started working on recreational athletes. Then I came on board and realized, hey, this is everybody, right? We launched B3 Sciences in October of 2019. And I didn't have the Los Angeles Lakers, the Kansas City Chiefs, Mark Wahlberg, Nick can't, I didn't have all this, right? I didn't have hundreds of doctors, didn't have awesome people like Les and Lana. So this was a big push up the hill to get people to, to even try it. Now, we're 3.5 years later, we got over 30,000 people, and this thing's on a rocket ship. It's going to go it's going to go all across the country. I mean, you walk in a PT center, 20% of the therapy centers have now. Every NFL training room is doing this. I mean, that'll tell you what you need to know right now. Every NFL training room is doing this on their athletes, and it started in rehab. Now what they're seeing is they're taking it out. They've slowly started taking out to the weightlifting, right? Because you're changing paradigms. But the older guys are all saying, I don't want to lift heavy weights. Give me the bands. So now all of a sudden you're seeing this big wave of older NFL guys in the league that have switched over to BFR. Tell you who's coming next, the younger guys, right? But if the big population, Zach, is the people out there, the 258 million adults that need, exercise. 75% don't have an exercise program. 2 out of 3 are overweight. 35% are in pain. I mean, we got a lot of people to help.
Okay. Yeah. Well, as we have discussed, I do have quite a bit of experience with physical therapy. It's basically become part of my life for the last 9 years since the motorcycle accident. Not always a lot of fun. So any substitute to that, I'm all in on this. Lana, you really wanted to delve into some of the mental aspects about this.
Well, I did a little bit of research, on top of my experience, and everything I've read. Physical exercise, high intensity physical exercise, can increase the levels of BDNF, which is your brain, derived neurotropic factors. Non-pharmaceutical remedies to help with all these different brain functions and free of side effects, because so many of the pharmaceutical products come with side effects. Most of them do, and especially anti-anxiety meds, antidepressant meds. It's so I did quite a bit of and there's nothing mind-blowing other than time after time after time again. Each study shows from way back 2005 to now, how high intensity exercise, that's the big piece missing. And the more the common thread right now that's happening in the medical industry, it's not about treating sick patients anymore. It's about preventing. And the key is about lifestyle. It's exercise, it's nutrition, and it's mental health and socialization. And if you can put those things into your life, these things can be prevented naturally. So, that's kind of the philosophy I live by and work with my clients, and how I lived my life, and has enabled me to cope with my daughter's cancer in the best way possible. I can't tell her what to do, but I can guide her, and I see the changes.
One of the things that I've always felt is one of the reasons why I love racquetball is that if I'm feeling tense on a day, we've always heard about going out and smashing whitey when you're going out to hit the golf ball all over the place. It's a good way to get frustrations out.
It's not even just that. There's much more being done there. It's the BDNF that is being activated, but even ping pong. They're using ping pong as prevention for diseases like Alzheimer's. So it's the interaction with other people. It's the concentration of the ball. It's not just getting your frustrations out. That's part of it. But it goes much, our bodies can do so much more.
Wow, this is fantastic. I mean, I've never, and I've seen more use throughout my 9 years of recovery. I've seen more use of bands and of different things, but I've never seen a band in this aspect. I've never seen one used like this. So, and it is weird, because if you would just kind of walk into this conversation, when we were talking about, like I was asking you earlier, the oxygen part, the some of the ways that are said, it could confuse you and scare you a little bit. But after this direction and after these instructions, I think what you guys have done is you've really helped settle any fears.
I work with my mom, who's 85 years old, twice a week for half an hour. And we do 15 minutes, with stretching in between, let her rest, have some water. We do upper body, lower body, maybe a total of 4 to 5 minutes on each. And she had a frozen shoulder. We've been doing her rehab exercises with the bands on. She's almost got full range of motion within 3 weeks. It's almost like magic.
Yeah, that's great. Why don't we start talking about how people can get a hold of these? Where do we need to go?
Well, I'll pass it off to Les. He's got the plan for helping people.
Well, if you want to go back to the presentation and show the money and the
Okay.
then we'll talk about that, because this is unbelievable. I mean, for $449, you get 30 days coaching. You get all of the exercise bands, so you can stay home and do it all. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee, and so you basically get a test drive at all. And so there it is. And we have financing through PayPal for about $80 a month. And so everybody can try this out and see for themselves that this works. And it's kind of like Dr. Mike has said. He said the only ones he's got back is a band that didn't work, and he replaced it because the air inside of it wasn't working right. But that's what you get. And you can get a bag for $30 to carry it around. And you now have exercise wherever you want to go. Fly, any hotel room. And again, 12 minutes is all I do. Questions, Zach?
Yeah, and it comes with, it shows here, it comes with 2 bands. So you get to hook them up to both arms, both legs.
Yeah, 4 bands. Yeah.
Oh, 4 bands. Okay.
Yep, it comes with 2 leg bands and 2 arm bands, Zach. Okay, so you get 30 days of free coaching. So here's a big one. People say, sounds great, I don't know what to do. We're going to send you an email, show you what to do. We're going to give you an instruction starter video. We're going to give you all kinds of ideas to work out. If you don't understand it, you simply email your coach. Say, hey, I'm having trouble. I don't feel the burn. I don't know. What about this? We make sure everybody knows how to use them. As Les said, you get the exercise tubing, so you don't need the weights. If you got multiple people in the house, you get $80 off your second set. We'll coach them both. Okay. And then if you want to extend that to 12 months, here's what most people do. When you buy the bands, you're going to have an option to become a member. And it's only $49. So $4 a month, you get 12 months of coaching. You get the mobile app on your phone, which has all the education and workouts. You get invited to 3 presentations a week. Last night we did senior. Last week we did kids. We did weight loss. We did blood sugar. You're always invited to all these special presentations. And hey, if you know some people you'd like to share it with, you can share it right from your mobile phone. So best, most popular programs, $449 for your bands, and then the $49 membership, 30-day money-back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. If you don't love it, send it back. We'll even refund you the mobile app. You're just out the shipping fee. As Les said, you can get started for about $80 a month, 6 payments over 6 months. There's no interest. PayPal will even give you $20 off your order. So if your order is $500, you're only going to pay $480. So this gives people away on a tight budget to get started with PayPal. And I want to make sure people know, hey, if you're watching this, get your phone out, take a quick snapshot. Join us on Facebook. There's over 3,000 people every day. There's a new story. So we've got camaraderie there, people sharing what they're doing with the bands. One day we'll have hundreds of thousands of people in that group. That's a great way for you to just join in with all the other people. So go to Facebook, search groups, and then go to IMB3. And we've got a big support department. Les will give you a website where to order. But if you've ever got any questions, just email us at support@b3sciences.com. We're here to answer any questions that anybody has. So very easy to get started, very easy to get plugged in, and you've got support every step of the way.
And also there's some meal replacements, a beef start in the morning to accentuate the HGH, and also meal replacement. Now I've been taking a protein powder for 3 years. My wife is a clinical nutritionist. She's had me on it. But now I'm going with their breakfast and their meal replacement, and it's actually saving us $20 a month, which I thought was interesting. But the other thing is, if we have any golfers on this video, we have professional golfers that have increased their yardage by 30. I mean, can you imagine just by 15 minutes of exercise a day, increase your yardage by 30? And so if you have any golfers on here, it's time to beat your buddy with the bands.
Well, here's my question though. Does it help you hit it straight?
That you need a coach for.
So, yeah, it because I know that, I mean, I can drive it. Well, that was prior to the shoulder issue, but I could drive it, but hitting it straight, yeah, it's another thing. So we are looking at the Facebook page right here. Do be careful, because there is another IMB3 on there. And so what I'm going to do is, in the comments right now, I'm going to place the actual link so you can go to the comments and you can download it. There is one other IMB3, and it's not the one that you're looking for. So this is what this is the one that you're looking for. So just go to groups IMB3, and you're going to find it. So this has been very, very entertaining, very educational. I love this. So and Les, as we've been telling people forever, one of the best things about this is that if they come through you, we're also going to be helping someone that they care about, because you're part of the Community Pay It Forward program.
That's
You're
correct.
part of our family.
And this is also a business opportunity. You can tell your neighbors at it, and when they buy it for $4.49, you get $80, and it goes 8 levels. And so this is the start of a huge business opportunity. And so love to talk to you about that. If you want to contact me at les@b3sciences.com, or email lsimpson@wellnesstechplus.com, or cell phone 303-579-6881. We can discuss it further, but if you want to go to the website and buy now, and then it says member 49, and then you get it all, and then you can actually start talking to your friends. And after tonight, I'm sure you probably have quite a few friends that came to mind that needs this. So let's help them all. So.
One of the things that I was thinking of immediately, and Les, I'll be giving you an introduction to it. There's a gentleman that we're trying to help. I don't know what the chances are of an immediate connection, but I know that this is something. He works with a lot of younger athletes in New Jersey, athletes that are less privileged, and they struggle. So this is a chance for them to, instead of having to go out and focus on getting into a giant weight room, this can help them out.
That's exactly. So interesting. I spoke with a man in New Jersey this morning who deals with karate. Karate is the means that he uses, and he has issues, health issues, and physical issues, and he deals with children who have certain challenges through karate, and he's looking into this as well to help the kids that he works with and himself.
Yeah, and
especially if a nonprofit, gets companies to donate the $4.49 for the children and so forth. And I'm sure there's a lot of companies out there would like to help these, underserved youth when they know something will really work. to teach them how to fish instead of giving them a fish.
Right.
Right. Well, again, I mean, I can definitely, you've got my interest peaked. I know that. Like I said, the video of the gentleman standing up was just amazing to me because, you know, I watch my mom every day struggle to stand up, you know, and she struggles even more to stay standing up. And, you know, there's been a lot of leg issues there. So I think this is something that that you know, we're definitely going to be looking into. But
depending upon your arm and leg size, to let you know, my wife and I use the same bands. So you only need to depend upon your arm size. Now leg is pretty standard, 1 and 3, 1 on the arm and 3 on the legs. But we easily can use the same legs. On the arm, mine's almost to the point where I can't use the 1 anymore, especially since I've gained an inch on each bicep. But to start with, you might be able to use 1 set for you and your and then your mother also. Everybody can use the same set because it's only 12 minutes a day.
well, I know I'd have to get 2 sets because my wife's arms are much bigger than mine. She'd beat me up. So, you know, there's we definitely have to get the 2 sets there. So she's in much better shape than I am. So did any of you guys have anything else that you wanted to? Let me just ask you this. If you were talking, in which we are, if you're talking to somebody right now, what is the one thing that you can testify it's going to help them improve? Just the top thing that pops in your mind, Lana.
That is a tough question because it helps everything from sleep. For me, a big thing has sleep. Being sleep and being able to do what I love to do without getting injured. Just total well-being. Total well-being. It's a really tough question because it helps everything. The biggest thing for me has been sleep.
Well, it's a great answer. Dr. Mike? Oh, you're on mute.
It's right in the book I wrote, Zach. Feel 20 years younger.
Yeah.
By the way, if you do the $49 membership, we send you 5 of these books. For you to share it, all you got to do is flip it over, write your information out, hand somebody the book. That story I just went through, Zach, and I know you'll appreciate that story is why people join. They've got to hear about 20 minutes. It's safe. I can do it. There's people like me doing it. Somebody's going to be there to help me. I don't have a risk, right? I know what it costs. I got a money back guarantee. It's all right here in this book. Go back 20 minutes, 20 years and 20 minutes a day. It'd be important to see maybe if Les sends you one of these. This is how we get the message out. So when people join, if they do the 49, we'll send them 5 of these. Once you pass those out, you're probably going to make a bunch of commissions. Get 30 more. And you're probably going to make a lot of commission. More important, you're going to help a lot of people. So I think it's important that Les gets you one of these so he shows you, Zach, how easy it is for you to, because you've got enough information now, Zach, you can have a 1 or 2 minute conversation, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then you're going to need either a video off our mobile app, which, by the way, I'll record this veterans video for you. It'll be right on the mobile app so people can share it. And Les, make sure you get with me so we get that link on there.
You bet.
You've also got the book. So these are the tools that we use so that we can get the message out.
Well, and I'm just going to beg anybody that if you're just now joining us, please go back and watch the presentation that Dr. Mike gave. And he's going to have a couple instances of people who have had ability impairments and struggled. And there's one with a video of a gentleman that just really touches my heart because it reminds me of my mother, who truly struggles just to stand up because, you know, she's had to have toes removed from her feet, so her balance is off, and the strength in her legs because of all the pain and everything. And so it's very, to me, that really, that right there was kind of a selling point for me, in which, you know what, everybody's going to see something in this that I think is a
Yes.
you know, a benefit to them. Lana, I think that I want to give you our love with your daughter and her continued fight. I wish nothing but the best for you. And I greatly appreciate how you're bringing up the fact that this can be something to help someone out mentally, because, you know, there is really nothing more frustrating when you go to work out and you come home and you're like going, man, I worked out, I'm in pain, but I don't see anything.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's actually probably the biggest thing for me, is actually watching my clients, and for the first time in a very short amount of time, I can see change mentally and physically and medically. That has been, like, in the last 8 months that I've been using it, that has been the biggest thing for me. Being able to, you know, you can't quantify it, but you can see it. And you actually can quantify it, but not scientifically. You know, I don't have the equipment.
Well, like I said, I wish you, you know, and your daughter the very best of luck. And